Hello and welcome to On From Uman. Lady Zinka has fallen and the Soviets are attempting to exploit the Germans' confused withdrawal. Once again, Furkov is to the fore and will have additional assets to assist. As my Smalley campaign reaches the halfway mark, the Soviets have taken a small lead, 2-1. Now, of course, I haven't actually achieved any objectives, it's just been the collapse of force morale that's giving these points at the moment. Well, that's probably a sign to me to pull my socks up and start looking at the tactics a little bit better. So this is a delaying action scenario. A disordered defender is attempting to blunt the advance of a stronger attacker that is seeking to break through their position. The side which holds the objective marker at the end of the game wins, and the ticking clock and final countdown are available. So the Soviets continue their drive south and will be entering the table from the right. You can see the two patrol phase start points, the Soviets the single point on the right behind a little bit of high ground, and the Germans in a box just in front of the river crossing. The objective for the Soviets will be to capture that river crossing, as it is the only one that can support tracked vehicles going down the road. You can see the markers at the end of the patrol phase. The Germans advanced pretty well. And that gave the following jump-off points for the Soviets. One at the top of the table behind the high ground, one to the high ground on the right, and one just behind the trees on the road. The Germans have one jump-off point in a hut, one on the objective itself, and one just to the left of the high ground. The Soviet platoon will have 13 points for support. No mortars are allowed, so Lobitova has gone for a bit of a rest. However, they've got another Su-122, and that's got some horrific HE attack, and also a Dushka HMG with 5 crew. The Germans have 7 support points, no mortars or engineers are allowed. They've got another Pak-38 with 5 crew and junior leader, an MG-42 and 5 crew, and an adjutant. We're looking south to the objective from the Soviet jump-off points. One to the left-hand side of the road here. Clearly the Su-122 will be coming on the road. Another jump-off point here. And one nicely round here in the low ground on the right. The rest of the terrain is pretty open. And the Germans will have probably quite a good defensive position here. They've got a jump-off point in that hut. One on that objective itself, the river crossing. And then one just behind the rise on the left. Germans have a force morale of 9, Soviets 10. Soviets also have one chain of command point, and they will start. Well, check it out. Double phase for the Soviets to start, one chain of command point to the Germans, 1-3-3. Tactics wise for the Soviets, they've got the tank coming on the road, they can't do anything about that. Bit open here on the left. So I think it's fire support from the left, and they'll be using the high ground or the dead ground to deploy, and then moving up on the right, I think. So the Su-122 is on immediately. That has to be a 3. On a 1, the sniper section will deploy from here into the trees. And on a 1, heavy section will deploy on the right into this rough ground and go on overwatch. End of phase. So that's 2 chain of command points, 1-1-2. 1 and 2 added together, the 1-2-2 will move up. That's the driver being activated by the junior leader. And he's nicely at the edge of those trees, and he'll put the gunner on overwatch. Can't use the 1, so that's the end of phase. Right, Kruger's gang. 1 chain of command point, 3 2s and a 4. Well, I'm thinking on one of the 2s that a section will deploy from this hut on this fence line and open fire on the Russian heavy section. And they're just in close range, so it's 14 dice hitting on 4s. Well, here we go, the 6s are back again, 7 hits. Now I think they'll count as light cover because they've got this rough ground here, and perhaps that's me being generous. I'll have 3 dice on the left-hand team. That's 2 shock. And 4 on the right. Also 2 shock. And of course they're in overwatch, so they'll fire back. 12 dice, hitting on 4s. That's 4 hits. 2 on the rifle team on the left. Soft cover, so that's 1 shock. And 2 on the right. 1 kill. Is that on the junior leader? No. First blood to the Soviets. Now, unfortunately for the Germans, the Su-122 is also on Overwatch, and they are an ARC. HE coming down. And it's 11 dice hitting on 4s. Well, that could have been better. 4 hits. But it counts as in the open. So rifle team get 2. 1 shock, 1 kill. Gun team get 2. 1 shock, 1 kill. Now, is the kill on the junior leader? It is. What's happened to him? Wounded. So I'll take one of them off. And immediately we've got a bad things happen. -2. Dear oh dear. Germans are on 7 force morale already. So I'm thinking on a second 2, I'll get another section deployed in these woods on the high ground. And they will open fire on the Russian heavy section top right as we look. Not all the riflemen can fire there because they're carrying behind the trees rather than being spread out, so it's only 11 dice, hitting on 5s. 2 hits only. 1 on the right gun team. 1 shock. 1 on the left gun team. 1 kill. Now, is that on the junior leader? No. Because they've got an adjutant, Kruger's going to come out early and he'll take off 3 points of shock here. And I think that'll do for the moment. And the 3rd German section is going to deploy from the objective here into the cover behind those fences. Right, Soviets get 6 does nothing, 1 chain of command, 2-2-3. Not overly useful, but on one of the 2s, the heavy section will open fire, 10 dice at the guys by the hut. Hitting on 4s. 4 hits. 2 on the rifle team on the left. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. 2 kill. And 2 on the gun team. 1 kill. 6s are back. Right, of those 3 kills, has the junior leader been hit, or indeed Kruger? No. So, matey's gone there, and a casualty on the gun team. Well, a bit reminiscent of the field of death, because the 122 is going to open up on the hut gang again. HE, 11 dice, hitting on 4s. Just the 4 hits. So it's 2 on the rifle team on the left. Just the 1 shock, and 2 on the gun team. 1 kill, 1 shock. Now, is the kill on a leader? No. Gun team wiped out. Bad things happen. Another -1. Germans are on 6 force morale. And on the last 2, another Russian section will deploy on the right-hand side here, stay in the dead ground and await their opportunity to rush forward. End of phase. Not overly useful for the Germans. So 6 does nothing. Certainly a 4 won't do anything either. 1-3-4. Well, I think on a 4, Kruger will activate here. He'll take the point of shock off and get the remainder of that section to retire behind this hut and into cover. And that's them gone. And he'll go with them. Well, there they are. There's only 3 of them and the junior leader who's wounded left, and old Kruger. Dear oh dear, first line of defence has been smashed. And on a 3, this section at the rear will move up the slope and forward to the trees, at the double. So there they are, they've legged it up there, breathing hard, and they got a point of shock for the rifle team. Junior leader has taken it off the gun team. And I think on the 1, it's a no-brainer really, the Pak 38 will deploy, is in the trees on top of the hill. And he will open fire on the Su-122. Low profile target, so it's a 6 to hit. Dear oh dear.
Well, I don't think you actually get anything for a double one in this game, like a out of ammunition or blowing up. But anyway, they have totally exposed themselves. Misses on top of the hill. Soviet phase. Not what the Doktorov ordered. 6 does nothing. 2 Cheney commands. Well, they've got a full dice now and 2 4s. Well, I tell you what, Furkov is going to come onto the pitch early this time. He'll take off 2 points of shock from the heavy section and get them to engage the German section in the trees to their front. Again, close range, 12 dice hitting on 4s. 5 hits. Right, I'll give the Germans soft cover, 3 on the rifles on the right. And there we go, 2 kill. And a gun team on the left. 1 shock. Now, is one of the kills on a junior leader? It is. What's happened to him? Wounded. Another one's wounded. So it's bad things happen for him. Fortunately, no effect there. That's obviously the unpopular halitosis Feldwebel. Right, Kruger's gang. Well, interesting. Double phase. 1-3-3. The pack 38 will open fire on the 1-2-2. Again, needs a 6. And that is a hit. AP of 7. 3 hits. Armour of 5. Saves 2. Net 1 hit. And a 3 is 1 shock only. German section to the right of the pack as we look will open fire on the Soviet heavy section. 11 dice hitting on 5s. 3 hits. 2 on the closest gun team. No effect. 1 on the fire gun team. Kill. Is that on a leader? No. And on the final 3, this section here, he can't take any shock off because he's wounded, but they will fire at the heavy section again. 12 dice because a couple of chaps are obscured, hitting on 4s. 5 hits. 3 on the far section. 2 shock. 2 on the near section. 1 kill. Is the kill on a leader? No. Follow on phase. 2 chain of commands. Germans now have 4 chain of command points. 1-3-4. Well, it's a bit dodgy with the SU-122's HE, but I'm going to get the MG42 tripod mounted into this area here. They're activating on the 1, and they will again engage the heavy section. 10 dice hitting on 4s. 5 hits. 2 on the furthest team. 1 shock, 1 kill. 3 on the nearest team. Another kill. Now is one of those kills on a leader. It is. 1-2-3 junior leader. 4-5-6 Furkov. Junior leader. What's happened to him? Wounded. So bad things happen for that. No effect. Lucky. And there's only 5 of them left with 6 shock, so they are pinned. And just going back to the MG42, it does say that it comes with an entrenchment, but because this is a delaying action, I'm not giving that to the Germans. So unlucky Kruger's gang. And talking of the devil himself, Kruger, he will activate on the 4 and try and get up to the section on the high ground. Which he does. He'll take a point of shock off and get them to fire at the heavy section. 12 dice hitting on 4s. Crunchy 7. But they are going to be in hard cover this time because they're pinned. 4 on the far team. 1 shock, 2 kill. 3 on the near team. No effect. Of those 2 kills, has 1 hit a leader? No. So that's gun team wiped out. Shot goes with them. Interesting. I don't think the casualty carries over to the other team there. I'm not quite sure about that one, to be honest. But they are now not pinned, bizarrely. However, bad things happen for a team being wiped out. -1, Soviets are on 9 force morale. And it never rains but it pours. This section on the hill will also open fire on the heavy section. 14 dice hitting on 5s. Another massive 7 hits. And it's all on the 1 team. And this time they're only in light cover. They've obviously stuck their heads up again. I was going to play Hit the Dirt, but I don't think it's worth it. 2 shock, 1 kill. Is the kill on a leader? Oh, it is. 1, 2, 3 Junior, 4, 5, 6 Furkov. It's Furkov. What's happened to him? Wounded. Bad things happen. -2. Soviets are on 7 force morale. Soviet phase. Another 2 chain of command points. 1, 1, 3. Well, we haven't got the sniper into action yet, so he's going to crack on and go for the MG42. Needs a 3. Hit. And they count as in the open. No effect. However, I'm afraid the gunner in the SU-122 is going to crack on. HE, 11 dice, hitting on 4s. Well, 6 hits and no 6s. Of course, I've been forgetting the Storm of Steel for that one. So again, in the open, all on one team. That is 2 shock, 1 kill. No junior leader. And I think on the 3, this junior leader is just going to get his gun team to come back into the dead ground. Not going to bother rolling for that. That's the end of phase. Well, another pull roll for the Germans. 6 does nothing, 1 chain of command. They've got 5 now. That 4 will do nothing. 1, 4. We haven't really been doing it up to now, but Kruger will get this section, using the 4, to put down suppressing fire on this area here. We'll also take off a point of shock. And on a 1, the Pack 38 team will get into action against the 122. Needs a 6. Hit. AP of 7. That's a nasty 4 hits. Armour of 5. Saves 1. Net 3 hits. LV destroyed. Which is a bad things happen. -1. Both sides are now on 6 force morale. So 2 chain of command points. 1 full dice plus 5. And 1, 3, 3. Well, with the 122 brewing up on the road there, Soviets are in a bit of a pickle. They got the sniper here in this little bit of woods on the high ground, and over to the right got the heavy section hiding in the dead ground, and another section here. Of course, all Furkov's lurking, but they haven't got many other troops to use at the moment, although they haven't got their Dushka into action yet. I think they need to wheel that one out. And if I deploy the HMG from this right-hand jump-off point, that's into suppressing fire, and I've got to roll for that, and it'll be a -1 to hit. So having considered that, I'm going to come from the middle jump-off point by the snipers. They're up here, and they'll engage the MG42 team. Now, this is a nasty bit of kit. It's a tripod-mounted HMG, 10 dice, reduced cover level by 1, and they are in close range. Well, that's a pretty crap roll. MG42 in the open then. Well, they've got 2 kill. And like I said, that is turning into the field of death. It's now a back garden of death. Well, I've got 2 3s left for command dice. This chap here is wounded, so he'll take off just 1 point of shock, and that's it. And I'm pretty loath to get this section moving at the moment, because the Germans are suppressing fire, and they're going to look over the area that they're going to move through. But I think I've got to get the 3rd section on the table, and they will again deploy from this jump-off point and stay in the cover here. That's the end of turn. Well, double phase for the Germans. But that is now 2 full chain of command dice for the Soviets. 1, 2, 3. On a 1, MG42 will open fire on the Dushka. 9 dice only because of shock. Hitting on 4s. 5 hits. Now, of course, they're in the open. So that is 2 shock and 2 kill. And they're down to 3 operators. What idiot put them on that hill? This section will join in the fun against the Dushka. 12 dice, hitting on 5s. Just a 3 hits. Well, that's another kill. Now it's 2 operators with 2 shock. And on the final activation, the German section, top left as we're looking, will also join in the fun against the Soviet HMG. 11 dice, hitting on 5s. Just 2 hits. But that's another kill. So I'm afraid that's 1 operator left with 2 shock. The rest of them are dead, and away he goes, routed. And that's how bad things happen. Soviets are on 5. And now it's the follow-on phase. Right, 2 more chain of command points. 1 full dice plus 1, 1, 2, 4. And before I do anything else, I'm going to play Ticking Clock, use a full dice from the Germans, and reduce the Soviet morale by 1 point. They're now down to 4 force morale. So on a 3, this section will go into Overwatch. On a 4, Kruger's going to activate and get the section just to his front into Overwatch. That's for 2 orders, and for the third one, he'll leg it down the hill back to the MG42. End of phase. 4 command dice for Furkov. Well, 6 does nothing. 3, 3, 4. Well, I do keep forgetting the old smoke grenades, which might give the Soviets a bit of cover here because they are bogged in and not doing anything. So Furkov will activate on a 4 and tell this section to lob a grenade over there. It will go 2d6. 4 inches. Pathetic. Not overly useful. Whilst he's there, he'll take off 2 points of shock. Well, I guess this section is going to have to do something pretty dramatic. So they're going to move tactically forwards. And of course, they crawl forward 2 inches. On the other 3, this section will move forward to the edge of the woods. 2d6 only. Yeah. End of a disappointing phase. But of course, it's not the end of phase because the section here are in Overwatch and they will open fire. 12 dice hitting on 4s. 7 hits. They will get light cover because they're tactical, but I'll play 3 chain of command points. They'll hit the dirt and it'll be hard cover. So 4 dice on the gun team at the front. Wow, can you believe that? 3 kills and 3 on the rifles at the back. 1 kill, 1 shock. So that's a total of 4 kills. Has the junior leader caught it up? Well, funny old thing he has. What's happened to him? Stunned. And another 3 are splattered across the deck. Bad things happen for the junior leader. -2, and the Soviets are on 2 force morale. And now it's the German phase. 1 chain of command. 1, 2, 3, 3. Well, Kruger's going to activate on the 1 and 3 added together. He'll get the MG42 to fire at the section just on the high ground by the sniper. So there'll be a total of 12 dice because it's machine and Gewehr with 2 orders whilst he's taken off 1 point of shock with another order. And this is Storm of Steel. I might try and remember this time. Hitting on 4s. Well, that's 7 hits with 5 rerolls on Storm of Steel. Looks like the black dice have got the run of it today. 5 more hits with 1 reroll. Another reroll. Another reroll. Oh god, dear, oh dear. I think some people are commenting on my videos that unlikely number of 6s being rolled, but I assure you these are genuine. Look at that. I mean, I've lost count of that. 13, is it? Well, these chaps will be in light cover, but we'll have 6 dice on the rifles on the left, which is 2 shock and 1 kill, and 7 on the gun team on the right, which is 3 shock and 1 kill. Now, of those 2 kills, has the junior leader been hit? Of course he has. What's happened to him? And of course he's killed. Bad things happen. And a 5 is -2, and the Soviets hit 0, and they are going to turn tail and run away. Well, not good enough, I'm afraid, Furkov. You might be penal battalion bound because that was a poor effort. I know you've been wounded, but you didn't really do much, did you? Stuck your head up and got your finger shot off, whatever. I don't know, but Soviets did a bad effort there. Look at it, penned in the corner here. They didn't get going in the centre either. The Dushka got absolutely smashed. There they all are. And obviously the 122 brewed up as well. I mean, it was quite a difficult task for the Soviets to take this one. Germans had some good defensive positions, but ultimately they have delayed the Soviet advance so they can get their defences further to the rear sorted. Back to the drawing board for the Soviets.